I think what in life is right and wrong is wrong.
Right.
If I done wrong, I admitted to what I done wrong.
Right.
But as far as that, it is bad. I mean.
Well, what did they do to you?
Okay. It was back in June of 2011.
Okay.
They said they had a phone call made. And when they give me the paper and stuff, they wouldn't tell them the names on the papers or nothing. The people that called the welfare said that these two people lay around, so I hate to say the word, fucked up. They don't know where their effing kids are. This is what the call was made to the welfare.
Okay. And of course they didn't tell you who that was.
No.
This is one of the major problems we're having. Neighbors turning against neighbors. We've got a civil war in Pocahontas County. We've got a neighbor that for some reason doesn't like you, and they'll say, and I looked up the law. They're not required to tell you who did it.
I know.
So you have a case where it's anonymous people are charging you, and you never have a chance to deal with it.
Yep.
So you had this person.
Well, I live in a trailer court of 8 or 7 trailers.
Okay.
As they come up there, there's 8 kids no, I'm wrong, 7 kids that live up there all the time, pretty much. That was then. The kids would all play together. They was up at my house a lot. When they come there, all the kids was there. I mean, a lot of them was family. You know, it's just, I'm like you, it was neighbors. I know it was. I'm finding this out as I'm going along. And the only ones that got picked on was mine. And even though we tried as hard as we could, it just ended up that way. But the call was made like that, and they wouldn't prove that here. And they said our house. We live in a trailer.
So they didn't even know what kind of structure you lived in?
No, before they come there. As that matter, they blamed the house. Well, okay, at the time it was. She gave me 7 days to fix it. And they took them up to my husband's mother, and she kept them for 7 days. Well, it ended up like 14, but anyway, this was Davina Agee at this time.
Yeah, now Davina Agee, I'm beginning to focus a little more on her. She's the wife of Mark Agee.
Yep.
And I'm hearing more and more. Well, he apparently is like the enforcer.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking he is. And I think it's a conflict of interest.
Oh, yeah. Well, and this, she come the first time to take the kids. And she done it. And like I said, when she come back, the 14 days later, we had to call her to come back. And she brought this Jimmy Lane.
Jimmy Lane. Now, he is our CPS representative.
Yes.
Okay.
When he come in, they checked the house. It was fine. I mean, like I said, I cleaned all my life. But anyway, long story short, they give them back to us. So we're going on with lives. They made us sign this agreement to for their providers to come by or whoever, drug test. Anytime.
In other words, just basically you had to be open to anything they wanted to do.
At this time. We signed it. They give them back. We was doing everything. Jimmy would call us out of the blue, come down to MDT meeting. At the time, I didn't know what MDT meetings was. I sat down one day, read their book. I'm finding out. For 6 months, he led me like this to go to Marlin, do drug tests. My husband to do drug tests, work. If you don't have a job, if we couldn't do that, he wanted us out of this county. It was this and that, and for 6 months this went on. I thought we'd done everything he asked. I passed all drug tests. We had jobs. We paid child support, both of us. We've always done that. It's like he nitpicked on us. And then when he couldn't find anything, he's like, well, you need to move out of the county. And just kept on getting like that. And he make us go to these fake MDT meetings. Nobody would be down there but me and Marcel. The kids, he'd make us bring them in and talk to him. And once you're, I don't know if you know what MDT meetings
Yeah,
are.
I do know what, and I know that there's supposed to be several people at
Yes.
that. The prosecuting attorney's supposed to be there. You should have had a lawyer there. Your husband should have had a lawyer there.
Through all them 6 months went on, okay, he comes back.
Did any of the lawyers show up for that at all?
No, not in them 6 months.
In 6 months you went without legal counsel.
Yep. I didn't know this, and he kept telling
Well,
me.
that's what they're doing. They're setting the situation up. They know you don't know that. But that's what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
We're trying to let all these mothers and fathers know what to expect, what they have a right to expect.
That's good. I didn't know. The only thing that helped me was the book. I sat down, I read it, I seen that these people were supposed to be there. One of them, getting ready to tell you, I took the kids around. They had functions around here for Christmas time.
Right, I know what you're talking about.
And the kids, I had to took 2 neighbors with my kids because my son and daughter was friends with them. Took them also. The one boy, he was a little bit meaner than the others, the neighbor kid. And my kids would go to school. They would take them in down to the school. Didn't let us know. Take clothes up. Take pictures of them and this and that. And I had my kids come home and tell me that they'd promise them shoes and they'd promise them that if they'd tell them whatever. And no supervision of parents down there.
So they were talking. This would have been Jimmy Lane?
Yep, Jimmy Lane. They usually took a cop down there, or Brian or Damon, or
Right,
usually
Damon
one of
Brock
them.
or Brian
Yes,
Shenneberry.
one of them, and they had no supervision whatsoever. I had a little one at home with me all the time. Never checked him, none. But the 2 older ones, they'd pick on them at school and pick on them. Then, like I'm saying, about Christmas time, he come 3 days, said he's come in to get them. I said, why? What have I done? I've been doing everything you've asked. But do I not get to talk to a lawyer? Why are you here? Nobody would tell me nothing. He kept telling me to hand him bread. I said, I really was not a very good, nice mother. I got mad. Anybody would.
Right.
At this time, the 2 older ones were supposed to be at school at the Christmas party there, and they done jerked them out of school and this and that. I didn't even know they was in the car. They had, it was that cop down there, I know them. But they was with Jimmy Lane to get the kids, and we had no lawyers or anything, and this is when they subpoenaed it to court. It was supposed to be at court the next day. They took the kids clear out of the county to Summersville.
Now, did they tell you why they were taking the kids?
That 6 months later, no. They would
What did they tell you they were taking the kids?
They said it was tried for neglect and abuse.
Neglect and abuse. What did they do? I'm just kind of interrupting here to get this in context. What did they do to prove that there was neglect and abuse? Was this just that neighbor who said you had neglected and abused your child?
Pretty much is what I got.
Did you ever see a doctor's report?
No, they asked me when they come in the home, why don't I take my kids to the doctor? I told them I don't take them because they're not sick. They're caught up on all their shots. They're real healthy kids. They're not underweight. They tried to say they were starving. I mean, I had to prove it. They had plenty of food in the house.
So they never found any evidence of neglect actually at all?
No. They had a picture of my daughter with her eye. I sent her to school. I didn't do it. Her brothers hit her with a toy in her eye. It was bad, but I sent her to school. I wrote it. You're not
the only mother who's lost her kids based on a fight between the children.
Yes.
I talked to a lady just the other day, and she was telling me that her children got into some sort of scuffle, and that was used as a pretext.
Yes.
But the question is, Jack, why don't they? Do they get a doctor's opinion?
No. As far as I know, when they took them, they tried to say my kids was molested. I knew they wasn't. I know when they take them out of the home, they get them checked for being molested.
Right.
If they was starving to death, and they proved all that was okay.
So you're saying that there was no evidence that by CPS's own investigation, there was no evidence of that?
No.
They never showed you where they did anything to verify the charges?
Pretty much through all that case, I don't know. They had 3 pictures of Ted White was my lawyer. He took pictures of Devin, had a couple marks on his back. I told him the neighbor kid was poking him in the back. I told him what happened. All the marks was on my kids. I explained everything that I could do the best I could do. Kids are going to fall and get hurt, but...
I raised 2 children myself.
So...
and I've had to take them to the doctor to get... In one case, my boy fell and cut his eye and had to have stitches.
Yeah. So there's... my kids are real healthy, and this is another thing. This school down here, I'm not putting it down, but they done a lot of sneaking, conniving down here to school. Devin had a teacher... I had to prove all this stuff. She said he missed all these days, and he was not very... They pretty much called him not very smart, called him names, retard. It's bad. I said that it's the middle of the school year. Most of the school year is done. They've done good. Destiny was... they missed 1 day of school. They was tardy twice. The teacher told lies and lies. They got one to lie for them. Destiny's teacher, Miss Wilfong, she was good. But through all this, it was just like I had to fight, to show that them kids was...
In other words, you had to prove you were innocent.
Yes.
They never did anything to prove you were guilty. They took the word of people they won't tell you.
Yes.
That complained.
Yes.
And you've never had a chance, neither did Ted White have a chance to look that person in the eye and ask them.
No.
If that happened.
No, he didn't. And after he took pictures of my kids' play yard up there. They tried to say my kids was in the road down there. I live in a driveway that... He's trying to say our driveway